What's going on, guys? Amanda here with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about HOTshot Trucking. Happy Thanksgiving! Or almost Thanksgiving! Yay! I am really thankful for all of you guys that have been watching my videos. So many comments out there on the internet and social media and all that can get really negative and nasty, and none of your comments have been like that. They've all been really supportive and nice, and it makes me feel really good. And I love it, and I appreciate all of you so much. And I wish you all the best in your HOTshot trucking journeys, and I hope that you find some of my information useful, or you find that I'm someone you can relate to, so you know you're not alone in all of this. So, let's get into it. This never happens, by the way. Well, it rarely happens. And I got my husband booked out all the way up until Wednesday. Go me. Pretty pumped. Did all that before 10 a.m. Just bam, bam, bam. Making that money. Woo. Yeah. So here I am making a video early in the morning. Gonna jump right into a few things. So in the very beginning of your HOTshot journey, the second you get your MC number, your phone is gonna blow up all the time. Whatever phone number is linked to that information that you gave to get your MC number, all the time, you're gonna get mail from all these different companies, like ELD companies. You'll get catalogs. You'll get letters from DOT people and emails from DOT people saying that you need to pay this certain amount of money to be compliant with this certain thing. 99.9% of that stuff is a scam. Be very careful. If you have any questions about it, give it a Google, and usually it'll pop right up saying that it's some kind of scam. Make sure they're really tricky. They're sneaky little people. They'll make the logo look really real and everything. And the letters can sound really intimidating, but just be very wary of that. It's probably a scam. Yeah, you'll get phone calls from salespeople constantly. Just keep in mind that you're a business now, and when you get calls from these people trying to sell you stuff to your business, do your best to be polite. What my husband usually does is just ask them to put him on the do not call list and thanks them for their time, and then bye-bye, and then they quit calling us. But I'm not kidding you guys. He was complaining to me a while back about how his phone just rings constantly, and I went on the road with him a few weeks ago, and he wasn't wrong. Like, it never stops. You'll also get phone calls from health insurance companies non-stop. So, but once again, try to remain professional and polite, because you never know. You want to build a happy face for your company. The other thing I would like to talk about is how I personally book loads. What I say to the broker. I was usually lost for words. I didn't know how to go about it until I did it a couple of times. And I'll tell you what, if I had $1 for every time I sounded dumb or said something dumb or did something dumb or felt really dumb, we wouldn't have to be working at all. Yeah, wow, it's, but you learn through those moments. So what I do is I call. I usually have it on speakerphone, use my cell phone. I'll call the phone number that's listed, and I'll have the keypad ready to go because a lot of times you're stuck with a menu, or they may have a pro number or a load number listed or an extension listed. You can dial that real quick. Remember, this is all about speed and time management. You want to just get this stuff done as quick as possible. Put that in as soon as the broker answers. Sometimes they might not, it's like I said, it's going to be a quick thing. They're just going to say logistics, or this is so-and-so. And I just say, hi. I start with that. And I try to sound nice and friendly and happy. And that usually kind of throws them off guard a little bit because I think they're used to talking to, tired, groggy, grumpy people sometimes. So I say, hi, my name's Amanda, and I'm calling on the load going from Findlay, Ohio to Ames, Iowa. And I'll say, if it's still available. And they'll say, well, yep, that's available. And then they'll go through their whole spiel, and you will already know the whole spiel because 9 times out of 10, it's written down right there on the load board. You already know how long it is, how much it weighs, but make sure you know what specific commodity it is. Make sure you know if you need to tarp it or not, if there's any special instructions. Then you have to determine, and then they're going to either stop right there and let you ask how much they want for it, or they're going to just come right off the bat and say, we got $600 on that one. And they'll sneak that rate in there. Like that's not a big deal, but that is the big deal. That's the whole reason why you're calling on this load. Hopefully before you've called, you have done all of your homework. Like I told you in the last video, you need to have that rate in mind that you want. I write that down. I write my top dollar, the rate that I want, that I think is realistic, that I can get. And then I have my bottom dollar amount. And start with that top rate. Sometimes they'll say, ouch, definitely can't do that. A lot of times they'll say, oh yeah, my customer only has so much. That's they can only do this. But we know different. I don't know. I think they're fibbing there sometimes. And just do your banter back and forth. You're negotiating back and forth until you hit a number you like. Sometimes they'll flat out just will not come up on that rate. They've got time to sit on it. They have time to let somebody take it for that crappy rate. And that's okay. At that point, you just say, well, if anything changes, you have my number. I appreciate your time. Have a great day. Leave it at that. Always remain polite. Always remain professional. No matter what, you never know. They may call you back. They may reach out to you. It's happened before. I've had a broker be so flat out mean to me before that I cried when I got off the phone. Like, I think he was just having a bad day, and he gave me the rate on the load. It wasn't a good one, and I knew he wasn't going to come up on it, and I just told him I wasn't interested, and he was like, well, why aren't you interested? What's wrong with it? And I said, well, I'm just, the rate. And he was like, well, maybe you shouldn't be a truck driver. And really came at me, like attacked me. I just kept my composure. I said, okay, thank you. You have a great day. Click. And that was it. So, even though they were jerks, I'm still not going to burn that bridge. You never know. You could be stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and they may be the only company with the load for you to take. There is a way to report people that are rude to you, and they can also report your company for being rude to them. So I can't hammer that point hard enough. Be polite. That doesn't mean that you don't need to just lay down and take it and eat crap from people either. We did have a broker. He didn't like the rate that I gave him, but I could tell he needed this load gone, like really bad. So I told him I wasn't interested. I thanked him for his time. He hunted my husband's phone number down and called him while he was on the road and haggled with my husband. And this went back and forth for a little while. We ended up getting the rate that we wanted, and he called my husband back and was just really rude. He said, well, since you got the rate you wanted, if you're late or you mess up on this load at all, I'm going to charge you for it. So my husband said, you know what? I don't like the way that you're talking to me. So unfortunately, you can find somebody else to take your load. We're not going to do it. This guy used 4 different phone numbers to call my husband and I and harass us and email us for an hour after that. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I worked as a card dealer for a year, dealing cards in a casino. I dealt with some crazy rude people there, but that by far was one of the most psychotic things I've ever dealt with. So luckily, most of these load boards have features to where you can block certain companies. That company's definitely blocked now. Yeah. Just be prepared for anything and everything. Let's see. So anyway, that's long story short. That's how I book a load. Just be polite and do your best. Filling out carrier packets. So for the most part, they're all the same. They want basically the same information. It can get a little bit confusing. I was looking back through some of my old carrier packets that I filled out the first time around, where there'll be a section that looks like it's an actual legally binding document. And 9 times out of 10, there'll be a little line in the bottom right-hand corner of the page for you to initial. But in the top, that first paragraph, there'll be a line for you to fill out, and then another line either wanting your MC or your DOT number. In that line, it will say, usually underneath it or beside it in parentheses, it says carrier. In the very beginning, I was always trying to put my husband's actual name. You need to put your company name in that line. So whenever it says carrier in a carrier packet, you don't put your truck driver's name. You put your company name. And then you can sign those contracts. And everything else is kind of self-explanatory from there. But that was one of those things I just wanted to touch on that kind of confused me that I was thinking about. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off right there because I need to clean my house. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and God bless you all. I'm thankful for all of you. Enjoy your holiday and your family. Bye.